that he's then bringing to this situation of having a secret affair. In Sonnet 53, we see more praises
Shakespeare's
for the young man's beauty, and he's described
series
in
of
grandiose
sonnets
terms. He's likened to both Helen and
that deal with
Adonis
women
from ancient Greek
are
legend. But also in his last line, Shakespeare is careful
calling
to
them
praise his
foul,
as well.
smelling,
In all external grace you have some part,
comma,
but you like
base and greedy
for
and
conflict.
childish
So you can see Sonnet 53 as
and
maybe kind of capping
grasping
off this escalation of this love affair and is sort of
and
being a kind
debasing
of devotion to
of
the
his
man.
better
In
angels.
55, we have a return again
Period.
to
That's where he
themes
uses
of
the term
preserving
better
love
angels
through poetry, right? All of
as
these
opposed to the
sonnets,
devilish
including
women
52, have this theme of the
and
past
their
lifetime
immature
cycles.
designs.
In 55, we get this anxiety again.
And there
how
goes
to preserve
Jerry popping up.
man's youth and beauty in poetry. And he says, quote, "Not marble, nor the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme. But you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone besmeared."
Right. There's an example right there. Thank you.
And then in 60,
Period.
a few poems later,
So,
again,
what is your
we see this
opinion? Because I've
increasing
written
anxiety
mine
about time, and by implication about aging
with
and mortality.
one
And Sonnet
triple
61
entendre after
begins
another.
with the lines, "Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore,"
And not
so do
sexual,
our
but
minds hasten to the
ethical as
You
well.
could say, in a sense, this theme of
Period.
aging, of
What do you
feeling
think?
the approach of mortality, and also fear and anxiety.
In other
about
words,
the
is it okay?
maturation of the young man, and the possibility that he will no
I
longer
always tell
be
people
this
I don't sleep
fair
with men, so I
androgynous
can't
youth.
complain about them as
This
much
then runs
in that
through
regard.
really 60 more poems.
I can't about the politics at work.
And one of the few
Just
points
as
of
corrupt.
introduction where we see a different theme, a different topic come up, is in sonnets 78 and 86, which together comprise
We'll
the
see.
so-called rival poet series.
I mean, I just
So in these 9 sonnets,
sorry,
78 to 86,
they say
we see
forgive or
Shakespeare
forget.
expressing
Yes,
anxiety
amygdala,
over the
medulla.
appearance of a rival, someone who is
They have
contending
one
with
too.
for fame, wealth,
So,
and patronage, probably. as
We
a
are
fellow
forgiving
writer.
and forgetting, but we
But
also
more
know that
importantly,
it's going to happen
competing
again.
for the love and attention of the young
Is that
man.
not for? Is that
And
we forget
these
what
sonnets
it
have
that it
attracted
did
many
happen, but
scholars' attention,
we
especially
also are not
because they might
dumb.
address
We're
some
meta
of
meta meta
Shakespeare's
meta. We
relationship
see
with other great
18
writers.
levels up.
And many have
We
speculated
see ourselves
that
dealing with this,
the rival
and we see
poet
that
might be
person dealing with it,
Christopher
and
Marlowe
that
or
person,
Samuel
that
Daniel,
person sees that person seeing
and
that
it must
person
be
dealing with.
someone
You know what I
with
mean? It just goes on and on.
right, in order to intimidate Shakespeare and make him insecure about his own writing. But this probably is really
Okay, what are we gonna eat?
right? If you look at the poems carefully, their
think.
main concern about the rival
I'm not gonna lie.
is that he's attracting the attention
Facts are the facts.
and appreciation of the young man. And
I don't have to take
necessarily
this as
because
correction.
he's such a great writer, but rather because he's a love rival. Because in addition to talented, he's also good-looking.
We do talk about
charismatic, possibly comes from a higher
the
social
woman
class than
throwing
Shakespeare,
himself at
that
the
is
wealthy
hinted
man
at in many ways.
with sexual
And
favors,
so really,
and
this is another love triangle.
just to
right? It's a love triangle now of
so she
three
can
men instead of
eat,
men
drink, and be
women.
merry.
But this
So we do
sort
talk
of
about that.
core
I know.
of Shakespeare's anxiety is captured
Sorry,
most
I'm
of
so
all in
Christian.
Sonnet
It's
80,
fucking
which I'll
holy
read to you.
inundates me.
Oh, how I think
And the
when I
and the
am
thing
weak
about
mind, knowing a better spirit,
you know,
doth use
Tristan
your
and
name,
what's
and in
that
the
story?
praise thereof
The
stands
first
all his might, to make me tongue-tied, speaking
the
of
first,
your fame. But since your word
stories that came
wide
out
as the ocean
about
is, the humble as the proud
chivalry.
sail doth bear, my saucy bark inferior far to his, on your broad wing doth wilfully appear. Your shallowest help will hold me up afloat, whilst he upon your soundless deep doth ride. Or being wrecked, I am a worthless boat, he of tall building and of goodly pride. So as you can see here, there are again words and phrases with suggestive sexual overtones, right? This other man is riding you, again, riding on your deep, and I am paralyzed, right? Not because I'm not a good writer, but because I now feel insecure about myself and can't write or can't speak. And this other other man, he says, he's using this metaphor of the boat. He says he is of tall building and of goodly pride. And again, pride also has this sexual double meaning. So Shakespeare maybe is afraid that he's physically inadequate compared to this other poet, right? And further, in the other rival poet sonnets, there are many references, apparently, to sex and eroticism, to attractiveness, and to skill, which can mean, when he refers to talent, that may not just be skill with a pen, but also skill in bed, right? Now, as for who was this rival poet, there's been, as I said, a lot of speculation, but Sonnet 86 probably provides the best clues as to who this rival poet was. So in Sonnet 86, this poem is extremely strange and cryptic. Shakespeare complains of being paralyzed by writer's block and by insecurity, and he again uses this sailing metaphor. Right? This metaphor serves him once more. And he says, quote, "Was it the proud full sail of his great verse, bound for the prize of all too precious you, that did my ripe thoughts in my brain inhearse, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write, above a mortal pitch that struck me dead? No, neither he nor his compeers by night giving him aid, my verse astonished. He nor that affable familiar ghost, which nightly gulls him with intelligence, as victors of my silence cannot boast. I was not sick of any fear from thence, but when your countenance filled up his line, then lacked I matter, that enfeebled mine." So here, for one thing, Shakespeare is explicitly saying, I'm not intimidated by this other guy as a writer.
The Book of Changes does not insist that human beings are either essentially good or essentially bad. Yeah, Christianity does. We're all dented. Whoa, how did these get so low so fast? Put that aside. Ugh. I love you too, Millie. Cultivate the best in yourself. Think about who you nourish and who you have failed to nourish properly. How about who have failed to want to be nourished properly? Remember, we're not supposed to press it on anybody. Just do it by example. Don't even think about it, really. Stop having a desire to change anyone. Because that means you're ranking and rating them. Somehow your own kids have to be slightly different, but you would hope to an extent. You're going, they shouldn't be given a chance to reject you outright. They should be, because they're not going to pick it. They're not going to pick it. You can get away with whatever they can get away with. They'll be up till 11. There'll be no such thing as adult time. They'll be like my dog here, always in your crack. When something else would feel a lot better. So, speaking of poems, the superior person is careful in his choice of words. Very careful. That's what a poem is all about. That's why it took 5 years to write them. I'm not taking that as negative either. I'm going to try not to. the thoughts you take into your mind. If you eat excessively, the same way if you nourish yourself on negative attitudes, expectations, self-loathing, you will not, look at me, taking it in and coughing. Don't worry, I got the lung test and I was the lungs of a 22-year-old. If you see every encounter as evidence of your own inadequacy, you will make yourself be inadequate. If you view them as inadequate, you will, it's not good. Innocent until proven guilty. And then, even then, nobody's guilty. They're a product of themselves. Where they are that second. What's on their minds. You don't know if somebody's got an ingrown toenail or not. Be at peace and you'll be at peace with dealing with others. On my nose. So this is good for all times, so to speak. It's got no changing lines. Thank you, Millie. No changing lines. So what's their opinion on what I've written? It's nourishment, as far as I'm concerned. It's got 3 or 4 layers of excitement and disappointment. Excitement, disappointment, excitement. Happy, sad, happy. Every encounter is a mixture of change within the moment. Never even thought of that. It's layers of change. It's like everybody's got 18 sine waves making up the one that finally shows up. But there's 18 levels down below it. What's that called? When you add up sine waves and they produce a final output where they're in sync. They're additive, and where they superposition onto each other. Where they're out of phase, they negate each other. So what you see is the final bubbled up version. But it's a bunch of frequencies within you. And all you see is that one that manifests. What's that called? I don't know. Anyways, you got these different frequencies and they have these different amplitudes too. Fourier transforms, yeah. So if you can take any outward waveform and break it down into its subcomponent of wavelengths and peaks, trough values, and you could do the opposite. Things that are out of sync and in sync, different frequencies manifest as just one visible wavelength and amplitude. So that's the way the poems are. And that's what we're eating. We're eating different wavelengths. at the same exact moment. Nourishing our minds with, oh, that's positive. It's positive, but underneath there's some negative. There was a lot of things that be even more positive if there wasn't this or that negativity underneath it. But the fact is, that's what's underneath it. You know, no denying it that there's a low vibe in there. A bunch of low vibes too. Oh hell. Let me do that. Bit. Colorful one, right? No vibration is pure frequency and amplitude. It's all made up of the additive and subtractive superpositions of multiple frequencies that then manifest a particular frequency and amplitude and shape. Period. You can be a high vibe, but you can be with or without edges, abrupt, cutting, pointed edges, like a triangle wave or a square wave. You can be a smoothly cycling sine wave, because underneath it's kind of a simplified set of frequencies and shapes of cycles. Period. What do you think of that metaphor for how we present to ourselves and the world? Kind of a complex array that only a Fournier's transform could find, like a soulmate. Period. The soulmate would be able to see that sadness underneath, or that anger, or that double, triple meaning. Question mark. Yeah, Amanda, you say that to me. Period. You see what I'm thinking, or yeah, she's not a good actress to me. I can feel her vibe. Wow. Look at that. We have mountains. Mutual attraction and mountains. Like a sine wave. Wow. Assertive, receptive. You got the duality going on. Magnetic force, which is sine waves. Nothing can stand in your way. talk. Oh, this could be mere talk. Yeah, it could be a good metaphor too. Jeez, Louise, you're using metaphors, magnetic and stuff. God, I think there's vibrations underneath, with amplitudes that are not pure. You're not a pure sine wave. You're not pure. I mean, maybe that's what getting to the bottom of your shadow is. You could be a more pure tone, which also means authentic and transparent. You will remain firm, and wayward influences will not lead to confusion. This indicates the resolve of someone whose beliefs are strongly held. There is no cause for remorse in this. However, a dogged ambition to make progress could become so preoccupying you no longer listen to positive suggestions. Do not allow impatience or fear to cause you to lose receptivity to good advice. Okay. Don't allow when attraction touches the heart and spirit moves you, it's of no use to try to stand still. Let nothing stand in your way. Here we go, using a magnetic force. Your mere talk, look at that. Mere talk. Your influence arises from innocence of powerful magnetic forces that work for you. What do you mean magnetic force? How about it's a gravitational force? How about it's just sticky, it's 3M sticky force. So you can pull back away when you want, How about let's not get so attached that we can't just detach easily. That's what 3M was for, right? Post-it notes. How about we be like a couple of post-it notes on the wall? I don't want to be magnetic. What if we flip? Like the Earth's magnetic field's going to flip someday. Then we'll be repelling each other. If you're a couple of sticky notes, then you're not repelling. You're not accreting, causing an accident. You're smashing somebody else against the wall because you repelled them so hard. This way you're just neutral. Go from slightly sticky to neutral. It sounds like good sex to me. Get off me. I gotta have a cigarette. Right? An after sex cigarette. Time to stand still here. Stop. 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 Stop humping. Just relax. Set a spell, see? Coffee, tea, or bouillon? Babe? Herbal bouillon?